Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. BlackSwan Event. Is it closer than we think? And what will it be? Well, we got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, we are looking at a 62-cent XRP, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm loving it. And I think we got good things coming. I personally believe 2024 is going to be a very different year for all of us. I'm just that positive kind of guy. You know what I mean? Not financial advice. Right now, $1.76 trillion market cap for crypto as it's up a little more than 1%. 42,900 plus for Bitcoin, 2,300 plus for Ethereum. Tether market cap, 91.3 billion plus. XRP at the number 6 spot at 63 cents. Up 1% in the 24-hour, 1.7 on the 7-day. Let's get into this. It's XRP Las Vegas. Yeah. Yeah. Let me tell you something. Tickets have been going cray-cray. I don't want to see what happened last time as opposed to this coming year's conference. I had so many people, Mrs. Backup had so many people reaching out, hoping to get a ticket because the event sold out. And I have to tell you, it is clear by the numbers that this event is going to sell out. Now, I know it says right here, the ticket counter, there's 127 days left, but there will not be 127 days left to get a ticket. Unfortunately, I can already see that that's what's happening. So, look, we're going to have some incredible people at this thing. We're going to have a benefit dinner that's going to have Brad Garlinghouse there and Michael Arrington. The Honorable Christian Carlo will be at the fundraiser and on stage at XRP Las Vegas, along with so many other incredible people like Uphold, Perry Ann Boring, Chamber of Digital Commerce. We're also going to have Eleanor Terrett from Fox. I tell you, the list goes on, and it is still stacking. So just get your ticket. You're not going to believe it. Link underneath the video. Let's start right here as a reminder that I need a little help with this one, ladies and gentlemen. It says Blackrock and JP Morgan acquire over 7.5 million XRP, unveiling institutional crypto moves. Shout out to Riz for this one here. And Riz and I are looking for a little help. We want to know if you can help us verify the information here that BlackRock and JP Morgan acquired over 7.5 million. If you have anything definitive that we can take a look at it, please DM him or me or tag us on X and we will check it out. Okay, now let's take a look at some things here because, look, we're dealing with geopolitical events all around the world that can have catastrophic effects and certainly cascading effects. And they range from military conflict to monetary crisis, right? So there are lots of things. We even have cyber attack predictions by the World Evil Forum and many others. But take a listen to this clip right here and we'll talk.
Well, mine's a little dark. I just feel a lot of concern that 2024 may be the year of a black swan event. This is a national security event with high impact that's very hard to predict. There are a number of concerns that I have that factor into that. Not only this sort of enduring heightened threat level that we're facing, the wars in Israel, also Ukraine. And we're so divided in this country in ways that we haven't seen before. And I think that just creates fertile ground for our adversaries like North Korea, China, and Iran. And that's what concerns me most.
I think that's a great general assessment. And look, and that's just speaking to military conflict issues, right? And then obviously there's cyber attack threats. We've seen cyber attacks already happen. Then there was the movie that came out by the Obamas. What is it they know, right? So head on a swivel, right? But we have something for you to look at. Now, we all know we've been following BRICS coalition very closely, and they are in the remarkable term global economic alliances. The BRICS bloc is set to undergo a seismic expansion. Just how big? 130 nations move toward central bank digital currencies and US dollar at risk. Look, We know that there are in order, I think, of 5 in the immediate future and like 11 or 19 more that are intending to join the BRICS coalition. We know that 80% of the world's oil production will be inside of BRICS coalition. We know that 40% of the world's population and a huge part of the GDP globally, right? So this is something you cannot turn a blind eye to. And I think we all recognize that BRICS is not prepared tomorrow morning to roll out a BRICS currency, but they are in fact already rolling with the USD dollarization movement, which has been quite effective, and then introducing things like their own currencies in place of that. Now, U.S. national debt has reached a new all-time high of $33.9 trillion. And yes, it is outrageous, as Jane Addams says right here. The financial recklessness is a direct threat to our nation's future. We need accountability now. And I don't think you could say it any better. That is absolutely the truth. And then there's this. Now, forgive me and this gentleman here who does a great job. He's on TikTok. I had a TikTok account for a very short period of time. And I actually did a live with this guy on TikTok. He's super smart, super nice guy. And I wish I remembered his name to give him a shout out. Forgive me for not doing it. If anybody knows it, please put it underneath in the comments so we can get him a follow. But shout out to Ian and everybody else for sharing this. This is a great breakdown of where we are right now. And it speaks to the position of the United States and what may be taking place in the monetary system. Could we already be watching the Federal Reserve dollar be replaced with U.S. Treasury notes? Take a watch of this, and then after this, we're going to hear from Jerome Powell.
What is going on with the money? Look at the background and tell me, can you see it?
I see it.
If you picked out that the M2 money supply is decreasing while the USA Treasury dollars are increasing, you would be correct.
I think it's at Pat Green. I see his handle right there. So shout out to Pat Green for this. Keep listening. This is fantastic.
What people don't notice is that we are legitimately in the middle of transitioning our currency over to the USA Treasury dollars.
If he's right, you've heard me talk about the idea with Andy Scheckman on this channel about a wholesale central bank digital currency being introduced for the United States from the Treasury, potentially, right? And then you could repatriate the Federal Reserve dollars and the bonds, tokenizing them onto the XRP ledger. And wow, just like that, you've moved all the debt onto the ledger. Keep listening.
And the M2 money is the fiat currency. This is why Jerome Powell from the Federal Reserve is holding up the same exact pyramid that said we are the 0.1% because they are the M2 money. Changing over from a debt-based fiat currency system over to a credit-based U.S. Treasury system.
Paper currency never works. It always crashes. And we are just at the moment that we have the time to convert that to Treasury dollars.
With the current evaluation being for every 1,777 M2 fiat dollar, you're going to get $1 in the new USA Treasury dollars.
Ooh.
But the thing is that people forget that we have done this before. Back in 1862, President Lincoln issued $450 million directly from the USA Treasuries. Okay, these debt-free, interest-free notes were known as the greenback currency. And on June 4th, 1963, President Kennedy signed Executive Order 11110, issuing $4.3 billion directly from the USA Treasury, bypassing the Federal Reserve Bank. These debt-free interest notes were known as silver certificates.
And I believe that's what led to his demise. Both of them.
It's funny how both these gentlemen were assassinated, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, why in the world would we do that? And what led us up to this point? Well, we can certainly talk about the Titanic, right? But that's for another video. If you know, then you know. Well, we can thank our great late President Woodrow Wilson for helping create the Federal Reserve back in 1913.
One of the worst presidents
ever. And from
ever.
his statement, he knew he messed up. because ever since the creation of the Federal Reserve, we have lost legitimately 99.7% of our whole entire purchase power. 1913, the Federal Reserve was created. 1929, the Great Depression. 1933, the gold seizure. 1944, the Bretton Woods Agreement to make the U.S. fiat dollar the global reserve currency. Then we had 1971, where we abandoned the gold standard, and look at where we're at right now. And as the Federal Reserve continues to print more money, adding to the U.S. national debt, there are countries that are looking to abandon the U.S. dollar. With all that in mind, we are limited on what we could actually do to solve this problem because they keep on printing the money. And going to Treasury dollars is one of the only solutions that we have. It will actually flip the whole entire script and make them where they were the 1%. Upgrading the whole entire system so it could be more interoperable, more scalable, more secured, more transparent, and going to a new monetary system that is backed by commodities. You have to ask this question, are they federal and do they hold any reserves? Unfortunately, this currency right here would have to collapse. How do we know that we are in the middle of it?
Clearest indicators of when a fiat currency is going to decline into collapse is when those who are holding its debt sell the debt, and the government, central bank, has to print money to buy that debt in large size while that's going down.
Now, just think about the idea that these BRICS coalition members have been doing exactly this.
Those are the most important indicators. So that you can see it, again, I want to repeat, selling the debt so that there's a big supply-demand imbalance, and the central bank having to come in there and buy the debt that no one else will buy in large quantity, so that then there's a currency devaluation. You have those three things aligned, the currency devaluation going down at the same time as those other two things are happening. And that's been a classic. It's like a bank run. They come to the bank, there's not enough money in the bank, and so they have to make up the difference by the printing of money.
And Ray Dalio says it best. And how do you know that we're in the middle of this transition? Check this out. The U.S. federal tax revenue is decreasing.
Holding Dubai's first ever gold currency. We have made this from 24 karat pure gold, and each note weighs 0.1 grams, and each piece has a unique serial number on it.
We have countries that are legitimately creating their own gold currency, right? And we are going to be embarking into this new world, whether you want to believe it or not. And again, nothing can stop what is coming. Everything is happening so quickly and so fast. And it's going to happen when we least expect it. This is why it's very important to know what you hold.
No question about it. Shout out to him for that great clip. And talking about knowing what you hold, take a listen to this reminder from a year ago from Jerome Powell, speaking about the international role of the U.S. dollar itself.
Looking forward, rapid changes are taking place in the global monetary system that may affect the international role of the dollar in the future. Most major economies already have or are in the process of developing instant 24/7 payments. Our own FedNow service will be coming online in 2023. And in light of the tremendous growth in crypto assets and stablecoins, we are examining whether a U.S. central bank digital currency would improve upon what is an already safe and efficient domestic payment system. As our white paper on this topic notes, a U.S. CBDC could also potentially help maintain the dollar's international standing.
You know, that's where I'm going to leave it today because, you know, we understand that what does that change in the U.S. dollar look like? Is it a new U.S. Treasury note in place of it? Is there a repatriation of the Federal Reserve notes to a U.S. Treasury note and U.S. Treasury bonds backing that new dollar? Or is it something else? Or is it the implementation of legislation for stable coins that allows banks to create their own stable coin for their banks, creating a huge demand to buy up the bonds and dollars that are floating around the world now for Federal Reserve notes, and creating a new demand to back these stable coins? And then that helps to ease the pain of the dollar and how much has been printed in the last 2.5 years. We don't know, but we shall see. I hope you'll join us in the Freedom Zone. We're talking about all kinds of stuff in here. You're going to want to know about it. This is the stuff we touch on in here that I don't feel social media will allow us to take on greatly and openly, because we've all been victims out here, just like Digital Asset Investor has been. I have been victim of censorship, and no more. And this is the place where we can have the real conversations inside the Freedom Zone. If you just go to digperspectives.com, click the link and join for next to nothing, and begin having the real conversation inside the Freedom Zone. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.